I'm Mark Abrams with Mobile Relay Associates, and I'm here to show you the new Google Earth file that we created and all of the features that are available in the file. The file basically consists of approximately 1,200 tower sites. The tower sites are primarily two-way radio sites. We did throw in a few broadcast sites that have TV, FM, or AM. Primarily when we couldn't find what appeared to be a regular two-way radio site in the area. We made no attempt to put in some of these specialized public safety sites that are on tops of buildings or are on monopoles down in the city to add additional coverage with satellite receivers and remote sites for trunked networks. So we're basically aimed at two-way radio sites. When you click on the file, it gives you the view here of the most of the 1,200 sites. Alaska is not currently in the view, and there's something listed in Alaska. We have our name banner here, and we have a legend that tells you about the stick pins and what the colors mean. The purple, violet stick pins, we have no information on the site whatsoever other than the latitude and longitude as it's displayed on Google Earth. The turquoise pins, we have information on our website. There is a web page that depicts some basic information about the sites. The green pins, which are here in Colorado, California, Oregon, and Washington State, are sites where there is NextEdge equipment located. The dark blue sites, which you see here in Nevada, these stick pins represent NextEdge sites from our partner in Nevada, and the red stick pins depict where it's strictly MRA's equipment. We have equipment out here in the Denver area for our NextEdge system out there, and we have equipment here in Southern California for our NextEdge system here. When you look at what's in the file, there's a number of folders. The first one is the credits, and it shows you that we created the file along with the names of the people that were involved in creating it. And we also have this signal legend, which would be very useful whenever we overlay coverage from a radio site onto the map. You can take the legend off, or you can leave the legend on the map. When you look at the different folders, they're all different states in the western U.S. And if we double click on Colorado, it takes you over to Colorado. It centers on Colorado, so you can see the sites that we have identified in the state of Colorado. Same thing true if you click on Utah. It now centers on Utah, and you get to see the sites that we have identified there. We're based in Southern California, so I'm going to go to the Southern California area, which is where our tower sites are mainly located that we own. And we also have, of course, a different variety of stick pins. As you can see, in Southern California, most of them are either red or turquoise, so we have information on our website. There's about 275 sites in Southern California where we have stick pins to identify sites that we have identified, so that so the information is fairly robust in this area. As you get further away from Southern California, the information becomes a little bit more Spartan. One of the sites that we own is Mount Lukens, and I'm attempting to find Mount Lukens. And here it is. When you double click on the name, it now zooms you into the 100,000 meter level, and which I clicked on the link here on the left. You could actually, if you click on a stick pin, for instance, it puts the stick pin in the middle of the map, and again it zooms out to the 100,000 meter view. So going back to Mount Lukens, we're now centering the map on Mount Lukens, and you notice, of course, the information window opened up because we have information on our website about this site. Click on the details, and it brings up a page on our website about this site. Mount Lukens is our flagship site, and it shows you a picture of our tower along with a little thumbnail here of the coverage. You've got information on the site, latitude, longitude in both degrees, minutes, seconds, and in decimal degrees. All your important measurements about ground elevation, tower height, etc. is all in both feet and meters. It tells you the different types of accoutrements that we have at the site, information you would need if you rent tower space and want to put equipment at our tower site. There is a verbal narrative of the coverage. We've got pictures of the equipment inside the building, more pictures of the building and the outside, and then as we scroll down, we get into this picture of the coverage of the tower site. There are several colors on the map, starting with magenta, which is extremely strong. And then you get to red, which is very strong. By the way, if I click on the map, it opens up a slightly larger version of the map. Depends on the tower site. Some give you a little more magnification than others. So the yellow signal strength is strong, green is good, turquoise is fair, blue is weaker signal, where you need a mobile radio. The portable radios will generally perform well in the green areas or better, but for the blue area or better, you need a mobile radio. The gray area is marginal signal, like there's gray out here and there's gray over here and there's a lot of canyons. So that's marginal signal, and white is no signal at all. You can also go back to Google Earth. Up here in the upper left-hand corner, there's a button. You click that, and you are now back on Google Earth. So if you want to look at another tower site, for instance, this is a public safety site called Mount Disappointment. It's on top of a mountain, so we included that even though it's generally public safety only, but there is some ham radio equipment up there, and a few other people managed to get permission to be up there. If you click on the details, then again it will take you to the site on our website. You'll notice that we have a lot less information about this site because it's not a site that we own or maintain, and we don't rent space there, so the details are somewhat more Spartan. So we can pick another tower site. For instance, let's see about going to Elsinore Peak. See if we can find that one, which is right here. And if we double click it, then it puts the pin in the center of the map. And we'll click on the details. Again, you can click either here on the left, or you can go to the details in the box. It will open up the site on our website giving you the information about the tower site, pictures of the towers, because there's actually 2 towers at this site. And here's a coverage map. And if we click on View Coverage in Google Earth, then it overlays the coverage onto Google Earth. And again, we have our name on the map up here. It says Elsinore Peak. Here we have the legend, the verbal legend, but we also have this legend down here where it actually takes the colors and gives you actual dBm readings so that you know how strong the signal is based on our interpretation of what's strong, very strong, extremely strong, etc. When you place coverage from more than one site onto the map, let me grab another one. So here's Whitney Peak down in San Diego. So let's take a look at that coverage. And you can see the 2 different sets of maps are overlaying each other because there is overlapping coverage. You can turn on and off each site. You notice I just turned off Whitney Peak. I turn off Elsinore Peak. You're just down to the stick pins. If you want to get rid of the stick pins, you can basically come up here to California Southern and click on that. Now all the stick pins are gone. And you can come back over here to Elsinore Peak, and you can you get the one yellow stick pin, which is the stick pin that's embedded in the site coverage. So when you turn on the coverage, you get the yellow stick pin back, and there it is pointing at our building right here. I can double click and it'll take me back out to the 100,000 meter level. So we're going to take a look at another site. We're going to look at Santa Ynez Peak, which is up in Santa Barbara. And as we click on the site, again, it centers on the stick pin. And since we have information about the site, it opens up the window here. Click on the details. And now we have the information about Santa Ynez Peak. It's limited information because we don't own the building, but we have our equipment there. And there's a written description of the site coverage here. And when we click onto the view in Google Earth, now it overlays the coverage on Google Earth. You can see again the legend here for Santa Ynez Peak. And of course we still have the legend here that reads it out in dBm. So if you don't want the dBm reading, we can click there and take that off, or we can put that back on. These other legends that here, these are there on the map as long as you are displaying the coverage. So right now we're displaying the coverage of 2 different sites. They primarily do not have overlapping coverage, so displaying both of them at the same time generally is not a big issue. When we turn on Whitney Peak down in San Diego, there's a lot of overlapping coverage between Whitney Peak and Elsinore Peak, so therefore when you get into an area where they both overlap, the colors kind of get mixed up. It's trying to display one color for one site and a different color for a different site. So, and the labels may overlap and get in your way. So it's not very effective when you're displaying multiple maps that have overlapping coverage. We have gone to the trouble of alphabetizing the sites by name. And here we are in Utah, where we have information on very few sites. So you can see most of these site names just have the name. There's no link on most of them. There's only like 4 sites that we have additional information on. So it's much easier to see all the sites, and they're all here in alphabetical order. So we tried to make it easy for you. The last thing that I wanted to discuss was we have a couple of hidden goodies in the map. I call them treasures. So you get to go on a treasure hunt to see if you can find the hidden goodies and figure out what they are. And so that's about it. And thank you for listening, and hope you enjoy using this map. We've spent literally thousands of hours working on the information to be able to present this to you. Thanks again, and thanks for visiting our website.